mic is on.
Summer
My mic's on.
is
Should be
here.
on.
Ooh, yeah, what a gorgeous
Yes,
day
nice,
we're having.
nice, yeah.
Can't wait to get outside a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Put your feet up.
Yep.
Do a little show with a foot show.
Yeah.
Oh!
What a pretty
again,
dress.
here we go again.
Wow.
Brav.
She has reached a new level.
Just saying.
She put on a show on
Sky's the
Friday. Yeah, we need to sell tickets. I feel like we're missing. We're leaving money on the table with you
Yeah.
on mushrooms. Like,
Should monetize on Lamia.
do a live stream or something. Because oh my
Well,
god,
then I took another strain took me to something, opened another portal because I took Jedi
mindfuck.
Mindfuck.
Yeah.
So
Was that the first time?
yeah, that was the first time. I think it's just
not
the,
the
It's not
strain.
the
The
strain.
energy
I think
was
it's the
the
energy
setting.
was like the setting.
Funny
was-
dynamic.
There was a lot of men. Usually we're mostly women and a couple of guys, but it was more men
Yeah,
than
and then
women.
and then a couple more men
Yeah,
came. And
yeah.
So at one point it was
One, two, three, four, five. 5 guys and 4
Yeah.
girls.
Which
yeah.
It's rare that
Yeah.
it's usually such a feminine
That
event.
sounds balanced. But
Yeah,
No,
but
our
I
lives-
balanced
So many
it. I wouldn't.
Yeah, she tapped into her ultra femininity to kind of bring that, because normally it's just like 5 women and 2 dudes. You know, it's rare that it's
Yeah.
such an even amount. So she compensated by going into her divine feminine. Ooh, yeah. She was a goddess. We all knew it, man.
Aww.
She,
Just takes this one to, and I like that. My friend who's sitting here, she was like my hype girl. Every time I send the zinger, she's like, "I love you so much." She's so proud of me.
Yes.
you had a lot of zingers. Oh my God, you had us all
The
rolling.
missiles that I sent that day when I came back with your bra.
She was teasing this whole showing her boobs the whole night. It was like the running joke. And then at one point you leave, and instead of just
I
walking
said, "Okay,
out,
I'm gonna
she's
go wear my outfit
she-
for the show."
like, no, she's like,
Yeah.
Miss Lulu will be coming back, and she shook her butt into the doorway, and you left, and I was telling her like, I have no idea who's coming back into this room. Like, is it gonna be Lamia? Is it gonna be Lulu? Is it gonna be some other character she's come up with? Oh, it was fun.
Yeah, that was. I loved it. It was good laughing. Good, what I needed. So nice. And when the people asked for,
You delivered.
They
Yes.
delivered.
your people. Yeah, so that was fun. What else was going? What were you up to? Family stuff?
I
Oh,
had
you got to hang out with.
I had a beautiful birthday evening at my friend's house, who's not a DJ, but who's a raver, OG. He's the one that initiated Kat and I to Picnic.
Okay.
Through
We've met him. You've introduced us a
Have
couple
you met
times.
JM? I'm not sure
You've
because
introduced a few people. I don't know.
yeah, no, I'm not sure because it's been a year or so that crew we haven't been out with.
Nice. You get to reconnect.
Yeah, so we used to party together, but he did a set at his house. He has like the whole you know,
Boards and
everything. The decks and the speakers and we were just about 12 people in a room, but really 12 like
Real ones.
real ones. Oh jeez. And for 3 hours he had compiled
Aw.
like the most beautiful music, and I danced my heart out yet again. So that was really, really good for me. I had a great weekend, and I did a double spa and spent a wonderful healing time with my partner. So
He was able to go to the spa. So
yeah.
oh, good.
He was like, it's funny. I mean, we moved through a lot last week. Last week was extremely challenging for me. And for him too. And a lot had to be processed. A lot had to be like moved through all the bodies. And yeah, by Friday night, we were able to sit with it at the spa, be like, we had like, we did a lot of work. We went,
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Ruptures are important to relationships because that's
Yeah.
the only way we get stronger, right? It's like that.
Get tested. Like your relationship get a little bit tested. So if you go through it, means your
Well, yeah, and
relationship
everything-
is solid.
And relationships are such potent arena for
Shadow
growth.
work.
For growth and for like evolution,
Yeah.
that if you're in it and you're conscious like, okay, well, hold on, let's see where's my work, and you have a partner that does the same and takes accountability for their work, then you're able to move to level up, like
Quickly.
you're
It
able to
doesn't-
grow together.
Yeah.
And I this was a bit something that we went through this week, and it was a big one. And once we came to a point of resolution and harmony, and then he was like, that's what he was saying. It's like the pain went away like completely.
Oh,
His physical
wow.
pain.
Yes.
So there was
Interesting.
something
The
happening.
Physical
like,
pain
yeah.
brought on
It's
the
so
rupture that allowed you to talk through whatever unresolved stuff needed to be, and then when it got resolved, isn't that beautiful the way that works?
physical pain is like talks about manifest
It's
all
the
the
last
stuff. Yeah.
body
Bod-
that of like communication of
Yeah.
something to be dealt with. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right, like
yeah,
for whatever
yeah.
reason it's unconscious, so you can't say it. But it's this felt thing that's hard to say, and so if
It
it
manifests-
goes long enough
yeah.
unsaid, it starts showing up somatically in the body, and then there you go.
It's a
Wow.
signal that tells you need to deal with something.
Yeah. So that was good. That was really
I'm so
really
happy
good.
for you.
Yeah.
Good.
And for me as well, it was so much work on a personal level, but it was so much resolution, and the somatic was so good. Like I saw exactly like the alchemizing process of our shadow work. Like the whole
It's
cycle.
very immediate.
Yeah, it was like dup, and then the whole like somatic release, the dancing, the just letting the body release all the stored energy was really beautiful. It felt really good, and it was like really this affirmation for me of seeing myself move away from the mental body into like the emotional body that's just allowing the process to happen. Yes, there was a bit of mental struggle with everything, like trying to make sense of what's going on, but if you just trust the process.
You're trusting the process.
Yeah.
And it gets easier because the more you trust and lean into it, and you see how it resolves itself. I've had two things now. The thing I texted you guys about.
Yes.
I don't want to get too much of the details because I realized it's probably kind of redundant with you. You sent a note today saying episode was the best, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna listen to it again. So I did while I was setting up, and I
Okay.
realized a lot of this light bulb moment thing we covered in that episode.
Oh, really?
It's like, oh, I just recopied. It's just like,
You're becoming redundant. Well, the deepest stuff,
oh, I already realized that 4 weeks ago. No.
Oh.
So there's no need to go. And also there's so much to it. But the one part that I think is kind of fun to share is like I found myself in a situation, and it wasn't caused by me, and it was a situation I was hoping to avoid, but all of a sudden it was put
You
on
had
me.
to face it.
Yes, and I didn't know. I literally did not know what to do. Like and my mind was like, well, if I could do this, then this, and then this. But if I don't, then this. Like I was kind of letting myself get lost in the what ifs, to the point where I was just kind of paralyzed. And I was in this cafe, and I knew that when the coffee was done, I had to make a choice. So it was the longest coffee I've ever had in my life.
You were
It took, tiny
procrastinating.
sips, like, what am I gonna do? But then at one point it came to me, it was just like, okay, what is the choice now? The choice is to go or not go. That's really that's the only thing I need to know now. And I don't know. So I was like, I'm gonna let the universe tell me. And so I flipped a coin, and it was just like, either I go, and anyway, the coin came back and said, don't go. So I was like, all right. But then that still was problematic. Because like, what do I say now to anyway, I don't want to get into details, but it was very freeing to kind of bring myself just into, like, don't let myself get lost in what ifs. just what do I need to know now? Let spirit tell me, like, just really tapped it. Was glad I had only had bills, but then to get the coffee, I had change. So I was like, where's that coin? If I wouldn't have had my coin, I guess I'd had to maybe figure out a coin flip on my phone or something. But yeah, and then I had taken a gummy while I was waiting for my coffee. So the gummy / caffeine / walk home / having just had this moment of like letting spirit guide me. Whoosh, this download came in hard. Like it was just like really showing me like energetically what the split and what that looks like from a resonance perspective. Like it was just like, it was amazing. And that's when I was like I was shaking. I was that's why I text you guys, and we can get into details later again if it's not too redundant with what we've already talked about. But it was really cool. And then just today, a couple weeks ago, I found out my boyfriend is going to surgery, and it was happening a day after I was supposed to go on my trip to Minnesota to see my family, and so I canceled my trip. I was like, I'm here for you. Let's do this. And I bought the cheapest ticket, and so it was not fully non-refundable. So I didn't even bother calling Air Canada to tell them I'm not coming. Like I just was like, I don't think I've had these tickets before where I've tried to change something.
So
and
you didn't cancel your
I didn't
ticket?
cancel.
Oh.
And then I got notified today that his surgery's been postponed. So I get to go to Minnesota.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was just like, I didn't let myself worry. It was just like, whatever. It's $500. It's just money. Like I'm going to be comfortable in my abundance. I'm not going to go scraping for $300 refund or whatever, you know. It's just like, okay, it is what it is. And it all just is like, oh. So yeah, so I get to be with him for his surgery later when it happens,
go see
and
your
I get
family.
to see my family. Like
Nice. Oh, that's a relief.
Wow.
That's a good thing. Yeah, because
yeah. So I was just like, this is so cool. Like for when I found out about the surgery, there was a moment where it was like I told him, okay, let me know if you want me to cancel my trip. And then it became very clear, no, I can't make him make that choice for me. This is a choice I need to make for myself. I can't put him in a position where he's asking me to stay. So when that became clear to me, it was like I told him I'm canceling my trip. I let my parents know I'm here for you, and he was like, "Thank you, I really appreciate that." And so I got to be a good girlfriend, and I get to go see my family. But yeah, I didn't dwell on it. I didn't feel bad. I was just like, this is what it is right now. I'm gonna grow with it. Like it was just, and it's crazy because my trip's tomorrow. I fly out tomorrow afternoon. And so, yeah, like to find out this week that his surgery was postponed, like when you trust in the
with
universe.
your son as well, right?
No, he's
not
not
coming? Oh,
Yeah,
I thought he
it
was
just,
coming.
There was
Just
talk
you?
about it, but yeah. So it's just like that. I didn't even really give it a second. I did give it a second thought a couple times. It was just like, should I call Air Canada and try to get some money back, or see if there's any way to? And each time I was like, nah, you know what? It's okay, and that served me so well. I was just So anyway, that's
amazing.
That's a good. That's great.
Yeah. And even at the risk of being redundant, our episodes are so great. Sorry, our conversations
amazing.
are amazing.
perfectly humble.
Yeah, very humble.
That was the theme of the night. The theme of the night on Friday was me being very humble.
From her throne.
When I was sitting up here.
She was levitating above us.
my
I'm
God.
so
The peak
Yeah,
of your
because when I was
humility.
on, like, the mushrooms told me you need to be humble. I don't want to do that.
But I would like to know the details about your download.
Yeah.
Can we talk about it here, or
Yeah,
We can,
did you
well, I
mean-
mean, we can talk. I thought
Like the
I
stuff
thought there
that
was
you
a
wanted
certain
to share.
clarity to it, and I was just like, oh my god, this is amazing. And then the longer I sat with it, it occurred to me like, oh, it was good that I didn't. If I could have like recorded myself talking about it and released it to the world, that'd be fine. But I think letting myself sit with it longer has kind of brought me even to a higher realization that I don't know, there's just a lot of components, and it's just weird. I don't really fully understand the personal side, like of the effects of what's happening in my life and these relationships. Well, I'd sent you guys that link about I had been taking a bath that morning, and there was that channeled work, and it talks about, with this moon and the energies that are coming down, like, in a big part of, I mean, it talked a lot about things, but it really kind of focused on relationships and shedding ones and the realignment that's happening. And so, like, that had come in, and the night before I'd taken mushrooms, so it's like there my stuff was going on. And anyway, yeah, I'm probably gonna gloss over all that part of it because I still don't fully know, and I think is actually, and there's something interesting to me about having not shared any of this with any of you guys, and then seeing how the universe has moved these pieces. It's like, okay, that's so interesting. So maybe it's better to not share any details on or off camera. But no, just I guess the bigger message is we talk about the shift, we talk about the split, and we're so close to it. Like we're resonating. Those of us who are ready to graduate, it's bubbling up now. That popcorn's really popping now. And if we stay on the stove much longer, we're gonna get burned. So it's time to go. But and I'm wondering if that's what the flash is. They talk about the flash, where it's just like when energetically, if we were like all on the same octave from a sound perspective, but then enough of us are ready to go to an octave higher, that could create a spark or a flash or whatever. So maybe like just like from the metaphysical aspect, or like maybe that's what that spark is, or that flash is the separating. And again, this is where the separating, because we're never actually separate. So there is a split happening, but ultimately we are all still just part of the same universe. Like there is no, and we've talked about that before, so that's nothing new. But maybe remembering as we move forward, as the split happens, and as we do need to realign our friendships and kind of look at the people who are in a universe and in our personal sphere and who aren't, like to let those go with compassion and grace, and not of a pushing away, like you're a piece of shit, but your life path is from right now, from what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling, our paths are splitting. We're still one, ultimately you pull back a little bit further, we're still one. There is no, but you're for the people
we're just cleansing, basically.
The purification is happening.
So
but yeah, but purification is even a little bit of a judgy word too, where it's just like something's moving from dirty to clean. It's like the people who aren't shifting to the higher octave, there's nothing dirty or wrong about them, right? So it's like to be able to love them as fellow warriors, they're still needed in that realm of 4D or whatever, for whatever reason. And so it's like to lovingly say goodbye rather than a get the fuck out of here, good riddance kind of attitude, because ultimately we are still one. So that split is, anyway, this all stuff I've talked about before, and maybe it wasn't such a like profound, but it did feel like a bunch of things kind of clicked into place, where it's just like little twinkling here, tinkling here, and suddenly it all felt like connected. So it was an exciting thing, but I'm not being very clear about it now.
No, you're being very clear, and it's true that we've covered so many of these things in many of our conversations, not even just last episode, but you've shared that, I've shared, like we've talked about, we've discussed it, the three of us. What's interesting now is, I think exactly, is how these things come again. They come in loops, in circle. And I believe the clarity maybe that it came through this time is reflective of how close we are.
It feels so close.
Right?
And the fact that these things are happening very quickly, like the ticket situation and the flipping the coin, like I feel so much. That veil feels almost non-existent at this point.
Well, you feel like you're in your flow, and I think it's that flow that brings us from one range to another, from octave. That's like from one octave of frequency to another. It's like when you enter that flow of yours, like where like everything's aligning. Yeah. There's in your energy, there's no resistance, no blockages. There are no patterns that like are needing to be tended to. You know, it's just that whoosh. And when we start doing it as a collective, like, you know, those of us who are ready to exactly do that jump to the other frequency range.
It felt almost like monkey bars. Have you done the monkey bars?
Ah.
So backing up to that moment where I didn't know what to do and I had to flip the coin, there was something so interesting about, like, I'm just going to put my action here. I don't know what to do. I'm going to let spirit tell me what to do. I followed that action. And then it was after I took the action, it was explained to me why that action was necessary. So it was just like, just trust. And then even if you don't understand, trust. And then as soon as I trusted, it was like, this is why that was the right choice. And this is why, you know, and it's almost like you had to, like, that monkey bar where I had to, like, swing. And then when I finally reached on, it's like, okay, now I can understand. Like, that was like, it felt to me like that was me finally making it to that other octave.
Right.
It was like, and it was, I don't know, maybe I'm giving too much weight to it, but I think
that
resonates
resonates in a way. It took that willingness to swing your arm to catch the other monkey bar. Like,
yeah, and just trust that it would be there.
It'll be there, and you'll catch it. And yeah, that makes total sense. And everything is just so reflective, and everything's being mirrored everywhere. Like, it's just crazy. It's becoming clearer and clearer.
The world clear. Like, you can see stuff clearly now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That feels good, man. Yeah. So yeah, another octave. And then it's going to be reflective. Like, you know how we've heard this many times, that flash is something electromagnetic, like some solar activity or a CME or something that's going to create such a surge of energy into our field, that if your bodies are not already at a certain, maybe,
if you're not aligned with it, it will knock you out.
You're not at a certain range, then you know you'll.
That's why this purification time is so hard. This is like that whatever came up with you in your relationship, what's going on with me and Marty right now and in his illness, is like that heaviness wants to be burned off, so that when that flash happens, you're ready to go. Because if you haven't taken this opportunity to burn off that heaviness, well, that's fine, but you're probably going to need that heaviness in the other, on the non-shifted side, or whatever that looks like, you know, like that. But yeah.
Just gonna stay in a world where you can replay your loops that will help you burn, eventually work through those things,
and be the thought leaders, spiritual leaders to the people who are further behind. Like, it's almost like, I think of it like at a military academy, where it's like many of us are graduating, but others aren't ready to graduate yet. But they are our comrades. We say goodbye to them. We send them. There's love there, but they're not ready to graduate. They need to take those skills and help some other populations who are even lower consciousness than they are, you know. But they got to use Earth as this amazing place of growth, this planet of ours, like this human experience. Whew.
Seriously.
Do you want to talk about the space?
The ladies are off in
talking
space
about Earth and all this stuff. You didn't watch it.
I hadn't heard of this at all until this morning.
Me neither. I didn't hear until you sent me that thing. I had no idea that was gonna happen, or it's gonna happen. It's Jeff Bezos sent all these 6 women.
Katy Perry, Gail King, a couple other people I don't know.
Like
One
celebrities?
engineer, one
Oh, dude, you should see them all in their like suits.
sexy
They're all-
suits.
Their
It
breast implants.
was just.
But
They're sending a bunch of celebrities.
Yeah.
Just outside of the atmosphere? I don't even know
It
what the
was
mission
11 minutes. They go up in space. They see the moon and Earth, and they come back. It takes 11 minutes.
Okay.
And they throw them with a parachute capsule. It makes me laugh. Like,
So this is just a promotion for Jeff Bezos. This is a
this
product
is
he's
the
selling
yeah.
now?
Like, if we wanna go to space,
You
you
have
pay.
enough
I don't know
money.
how you have to put like $150,000 down payment. I don't know how many millions it costs, but that's all I saw today when I did a little search. And now these celebrities are going, and
So they did it, or they're going to do it? Did
What
it
do you
happen?
mean?
Today.
It happened.
They did it.
Yeah.
So Gail King was out of the
Oh,
atmosphere.
so
and
I
she's
sent
back
you
again.
the video
I
with
know,
the
but
whole
it was like
footage.
2 hours long. I just started.
Well,
at
I
the beginning.
skip a little bit. Like I go and like, okay, they sent them. They go. They do the little. They ring a little bell, because it's so silly. It's very silly when you're sitting and watching like these billionaires going, and then they come back and they talk about their experience, how they find out that we need to be better and we are all one. That's what they realize when they go there.
That's not a bad takeaway.
It's not.
Yeah. But do you need to pay millions of dollars to realize that
Celebrities do, maybe.
it was? And then they go back and they talk to the Kardashians about
So
how
what was that?
it
Like
was
that, I
the
saw
guy.
that screen grab.
What's her name? Jenner, the mom, and her daughter.
Jenner,
Yeah, and her daughter. They were there watching, and they talk about how it's important to go to space and how it's just their insight, But the
This feels like a
Kardashian-
psyop.
of all people, you go.
They were neither of them went up. They were just
No,
there to
they're
witness.
just there to watch.
So they were paid so that they could be part of the
Yeah.
interview.
Yeah,
Oh, this feels
it
very.
just feels very upside down. So, and Oprah is crying because her friend is there. Like, yeah, I'm a bitch. You sent your friend
Shoot him into the sun. It's just like this.
Yeah, why didn't Oprah go?
because she doesn't want to die.
Send her away.
She's sending her.
Send her
best
food taster
friend.
up first.
That sounds like that, really.
You try it. If it goes well, I'll
like,
think about it.
like I said to you, I need the spotlight, but I'm not going. Like, it's just,
Yeah, there's is with all the amazing things happening on Earth, it is. Do you have any desire to go to space?
no, never,
Do you?
never. Yes, she does.
I mean,
Say it.
yeah.
You're allowed.
11 minutes. It's not a big commitment, but I mean, it's not a priority in my life. But can I honestly
You're
say
curious about
I'm
it,
not
right?
interested in being in space as a human being like this and like seeing Earth from that perspective. Yeah, it's an attractive idea, but it's not a priority. Like it's not like my dream or anything.
Like, where is it on the list? If you could go to a
No, I'd rather discover
if you go to
Earth.
Tomorrowland in Brazil
Yeah.
for a week,
I
or
don't know.
go-
That's good enough. I'll swap.
like sure. If I have nothing, that's what I think is what's
Yeah,
interesting.
they
It's like
they
these
have-
people have done everything they
Yeah.
can on Earth, and so now this is the
Or
next
maybe
thing.
they didn't, and they don't know that. Like you decide, oh, I just want to go to this place and talk to the people, but I don't think they're interested in doing that. Like how we travel to discover other.
Yeah, right.
Do you think Jeff Bezos has traveled the world and has talked to humans and in little villages? And I don't think so.
No, and honestly,
Very judgmental.
just going up, like the resources it takes to just like go up, just so you can see like Earth from a perspective to realize like that we're one. Kind of like really kills the whole vibe for me.
Yeah, and it's a penis-shaped rocket. That's
It's
what.
yeah,
it's
it's
like
a
very
patriarchal
Where's our
symbol.
vaginal spacecraft?
Yeah, maybe by the
It's
time we
so
make like
funny to me.
vulva looking
Yeah.
Well, those eggs, the eggs
or eggs. I'll take that.
coming.
Yeah, but like no, I don't dream of going and doing that, like going up to space, and spending a lot of our resources and stuff. No, but what if like communicating with other civilization? Like I do dream of living in a time where we can actually go visit other planets.
Sure, I think there's something.
But-
it probably wouldn't even.
but
At
I-
that point, it'd be almost like teleportation kind of stuff.
Yes. But yes, let's bring everything back here though. I have not seen like anything on this planet, relatively speaking, So yeah, what if we all just put our focus on the planet instead of like exiting the planet?
Yeah, but I think
that
for
would-
some people that's
that would
something they're
help.
super fascinated by. It is an interesting thing to think of, like that
Yeah, it is fascinating.
Shatner quote.
Yeah.
Like he got to go up out of the atmosphere, and it kind of made he thought this was gonna be this amazing, exhilarating thing, and it actually made him really sad. He kind of realized, oh no, warmth and love that is on Earth, outside in space is just cold and distance.
He felt like very silent, and he didn't like it. He
It
said
felt like a
there's-
funeral.
It's like we need to take care of our planet. There's so much destruction, and so that's where priorities are shifted.
True.
Interesting quote.
Yeah. And in that perspective, then it's what Bezos is doing and all these celebrities
Like
going
Elon
up
Musk wants
and
to go and
like
live
tourism,
on Mars.
like space
Yeah.
tourism. Like who's gonna benefit from that, and is it beneficial for the travelers? No.
But like in anything in life, you kind of have to try it a few times before you realize, oh, this ain't it. So maybe that's like what Shatner's experience was. He thought this could be this amazing thing, and he ended up, oh, you know what? That experience helped me realize maybe there was more love to have, or so you have to cross the line before you realize that there was a line there at all, and then start understanding. So it makes total sense to me why people would like want to go as deep in the ocean or as high in the sky. Like
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure, there's that explorer urge is a very valid one.
Of
I
course,
just don't
of
think it's
course.
inside of me. Like my whole fascination is consciousness and internal stuff. So it's
Right.
like
Sure.
yeah. So
But as above, so below. So inside, as
yeah.
outside,
So I can just for free on my couch. Just
yeah, you can explore
Fly
I
through
already
space.
traveled in space.
different realms.
Yeah, many
for
times.
Sure. So have I.
With taking mushrooms. I've seen so many planets, and I don't know if
Yes.
it's real or not. Maybe, but it felt so real. So
Yeah.
yeah,
surreal.
Surreal.
Surreal and so real.
Wow.
yeah.
No, but I think we would benefit a lot focusing on this planet and not on being human, because exactly we can travel in consciousness.
Right.
Like
Yeah. and
anywhere
It's such a
and explore
materialistic
anything.
view of the world to think I
Yeah,
gotta get in
yeah.
this canister and fill it full of gas and get as much force. Like think of all the force. Horsepower.
All the
you need to, like-
resources, like the
yeah.
multi-million dollars that are spent for just 11 minutes of. Yeah.
But yeah, it's probably it was an important
Yeah,
part
but-
of human development to get to that place. Like if the aliens are watching to see, oh look how far they're getting to the point where they really are starting to have an interest in. There's enough of them who recognize that there's more to the universe than what's just on Earth, and they're actually trying. Like it's a good little like, hey, we're kind of ready. Maybe maybe it's not the best thing. Like when a kid
Yeah, but
reaches
astronauts have been doing it. Like, but now this is becoming a commercialized thing. It's
Yeah.
not about exploring. It's like people who have a lot of money can do it, but the population cannot. You have to be very privileged to be able to go into that capsule. But NASA and other like space program have been doing it for decades.
Right, so this is an offshoot of this.
yeah.
The taxpayers paid for the initial
Yeah,
technology, and now
exactly.
the wealthy.
yeah, they can get and
benefit
take.
from
it.
Like
But
But I don't know
six
what is
people.
the benefit? So you do all this work, you get up
Yeah.
there, you experience weightlessness or whatever, and then you come back down. Like
Yeah.
okay, but yeah,
I,
if you
I
get
think
something.
the feeling like they come back and they're crying, exhilarated. I've had that feeling with just hugging my babies. Sometimes you can get these experiences just by being with people you love or going and seeing like a sight on Earth and that takes your breath away. So you can still live that experience here. So paying all that money and all that resources and all this technology just to go for 11 minutes and come back. It's like
Well,
it's like having sex. It's like, yeah, I got an orgasm. It took me 10 minutes to get there, and I'm coming back. And it's like, wow.
And all that gasoline.
Yeah. I am better.
yeah. But if it's a profound experience for people that have resources, let's say you have to be privileged to be able to have this experience, but then you have it. Even like Shatner, it was still something that probably shook him. Like whether, it's not what he expected or
But he
even.
definitely learned something from
Right,
it.
it's definitely something that impacted him in a way to wanting to be a better human being.
Or like there was something definitely a shift in his perspective that experience allowed, and it wasn't the one he was expecting, but it certainly it was a profound. I mean, the quote was pretty very interesting. So it.
Yeah, so if it could do that, like, 11 minutes by 11 minutes, change these people who have actually on the ground a lot of resources and a lot of influence.
Hold on.
Okay, hold on. You think these
You're
people have
you're so
changed in
optimistic.
their core? I don't know if like Jeff Bezos have been to space and he came back. I think he's changed. Like Amazon is just
No, it feels like
no.
You hear about people having these amazing ayahuasca experiences. So you've got a lot of money and you fly to an ayahuasca resort. You have the thing, and then you immediately go back to your life. It's just like, sure, that moment felt like it changed you, and I'm sure it does. But are you integrating this experience in a meaningful way? I don't.
I'm cynical when it comes to billionaires and stuff. Like it's just you can see them how they operate, and you don't see any change. Maybe for them it feels like they need it. Like they are really they believe the experience. Deeply they think, oh, I'm a better person because I went to space, or I'm learning something. But they come back and reality is, I have to run this business. I have to do this. I have to do that. So I don't think there is anything profoundly or like significantly changing about them. It's just maybe it's a feel good for me, like it warms their heart to feel like they're better that way. I am.
I mean, for sure, it's definitely food for ego to be, and then come back and be like, I went to space and I had such an amazing experience.
Imagine working that into every conversation for the
Right.
next year.
Yeah, but I don't know. I do believe maybe on some layers, and maybe not right away, but
It is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah.
And it makes total sense. Like if you don't feel if the impact of your choices don't have a consequential effect on your life, why would you change anything? Why would you look inside yourself? You know what I mean? Like if money is such a great way for protecting yourself from growth. And if you have billions of it, like it was in my most desperate moments that I had to like let go and trust. If you're a billionaire, you don't have to trust in God. You've got a whole team of people, so it's like it's not a judgment. It just is. It's just like it's a blessing. I've found for myself it's been a blessing to have been lived a life where I didn't have that cushion that protected me from my choices and my consequences. Like having the ability to feel the effects of things more quickly has allowed me to grow faster. So it's just so you can have that experience, feel like, oh, we're all one, whatever, but when you come back down and you're still living this posh lifestyle,
are bowing to you. You have yes men.
it'd be really hard to change in that environment.
That's very comfortable. Like, why would I want to get rid of all these people and all these houses and all this privilege to do what?
No, but I
You
mean,
know what
who
I
says
mean?
you don't? I don't know. That's a different discussion. But I don't believe like it's wrong to have the money. It's just like how you're
How much
directing
money
it.
is good
Yes,
for you,
yes,
know?
yes,
And
for sure. That's
when
a-
it
that's a
becomes really,
different- yes.
when you're a multi-billionaire, like, do you really need that?
No, but I have hope. Let's say that it could create some ripple effect. Maybe not for the person, but like, just to feel like they come back and to say, okay, we're one. It doesn't mean they're better people and now all their resources are like redirected in the right places and they're helping the world and that's gonna change. But
I'm very cynical when it
maybe
comes
crack
to
a little
billionaires.
Maybe planted a seed,
maybe.
and
or else it's really useless for sure. Then we're but and that's not surprising. So many useless things are happening all around the place. So
Well,
just
it
another
inspired
one.
this amazing conversation.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
No,
yeah,
no,
Perfectly
you're
humble.
something
Perfectly
good.
humble.
But
No,
allowing
I
me
know.
to
But
poop
to
on
say,
them.
I don't think of anything as useless. Like everything's happening
Right.
for a reason.
Of course.
So,
This
yeah.
is happening, and you see that people are not happy about it. Like when I watched the video on YouTube, they were like, I don't know, 100,000, over 200,000 people
Comments?
who
Oh,
no,
who
who
watched.
watched, and hundreds of comments, and they're not happy about it. Everybody's complaining about, do you really need this money, spending all this taxpayers' money for this privileged people to go for 11 minutes and to
People
what?
are calling it
yeah,
out.
they're calling it out. So.
Yeah.
So maybe we needed them to behave this way because this is becoming ridiculous. Like the way these elite people are behaving right now, it's like rich people on steroid. Like they are, nothing is stopping them for being too obvious. Like now, everything they do is too obvious to the mass that this is not right. This is not how we should behave as human beings.
'Cause
Like
there's nothing to
yeah,
stop them. Like if
because
you,
nobody's like a lot of people are clapping them now the media and everybody's
Yeah.
like around them. They're paying other celebrities
people who are
to come,
paid
to come and
to say- talk
encourage
about
them and
amazing
cry
this is.
for them as well. So but the mass is watching this and they're like in disbelief. It's
This
like,
ain't it.
what is this? This is not right. So maybe that's what they need to show us.
How ridiculous.
Yeah,
it
how
is.
ridiculous it is. Even with all this money, they're still looking for something more, and they're not content with their life. And maybe the space is just a symbol of I'm not content with who I am inside. I need to go out of space to find some reality.
Not even just out of space. Nothing in the world was satisfying.
Yeah.
Whatever. And so I need to. I had to go even further. I had to
Further,
go-
yeah.
That urge is pushing me even further.
Like for me, you can this realization. Like I still believe that you don't have to pay millions of dollars to realize that we need to do better in this world. Like this is just basic knowledge.
They're gonna read the comments and be like, "See, this is why we got to get off this planet. These people hate us."
Yeah, they want to kill us. They want us dead.
So they're gonna justify it like this is why it's really important we get off of Earth because look what's happening.
I told you what my son said when I was watching it, and he came and he was laughing. He's like, "Imagine this thing explodes. It would be hilarious." He's more psycho than I am. Oh my god.
No, it's a real sentiment out there. People like as the inequality gets further and further.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like
These people are so
resources-
detached from the reality of billions of people, So there's a legitimate, when people are talking like this, there's a legitimate view. It's I understand why people
Oh, I
are,
totally
are
understand.
upset and
I spent
not.
years in that
Yeah.
mindset of like,
Yeah.
oh, how dare these people? Like it took a spiritual awakening and to kind of realize, wait a minute. And it was interesting because part of hating the rich is pushing away your own abundance.
Yeah, that's for me. That's why I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so it's like I had to really start examining my relationship with that. It's like why it was just like, well, where do I draw the line? Where is the right amount of rich? And there has been studies on this. Like it's they know like after a certain amount of income,
It's
per year,
$200,000.
more or less. Yeah, it's not a
They
lot.
say
Anything
you
more
you
than
don't
that,
need more than 200,000 to be content because you're not gonna be worried about paying your bill and your rent and food and taking care and get like some vacations. But after that, you don't need more than that to be.
And in fact, it actually makes your life less. They
miserable.
report being less
That's when you
happy.
start worrying about your money and you start like, are people loving me for who I am or for my money and all this stuff? So, yeah. So there was a study about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that right. So there we do kind of know roughly what that line is. It's well under $1 million. So to be a billionaire is just like, okay, so what does that say? That means even if this thing isn't, there's something inside of you driving you, that motor of trying to find some sort of happiness. And even though you have $1 billion, there's the idea that $1 billion more is going to make you like, I'm not happy here, but maybe $1 billion more. It's just like, oh, that sounds miserable. That sounds such a miserable existence. So it's like I can love Jeff Bezos. I can love Elon Musk. I can see inside of them that you're being driven out of fear, and with all the wealth you have, you're still in a scarcity mindset.
Exactly. And you can see with Elon Musk how he wants everybody to love him and to
He just
approve
wants
him.
to be
He wants
loved.
to be funny. He wants to do jokes and have people say he posts memes and he's like, "Oh, look at me, I'm funny." It's like
You would kill to
he
get the
would
laughs you got
kill-
on Friday
yeah.
night.
But seriously, you have all these billions and you still want people to just love you, and it's just
Yeah, so it's coming from
it's
a
like
place of
there's an
trauma.
emptiness in them that's money could never buy them. So
But that's all they know to go for, because this has been the big lie. There's been many big lies, but that's a big one. That the more you have, the happier you'll be. That they've got us hating one another, scratching one another, tearing apart one another. Insisting that there's a limit to the Earth's resources, and it has to be divided, and so everyone's scrambling for their piece. To get their bag. It's like. Yeah, it's wild. So to see that extreme, to see someone with billions of dollars and still not happy, like what a beautiful lesson they're offering for the rest of us.
Yeah. That's why they say money doesn't. Well, they keep telling, like I told you the other day, they keep telling, "Oh, money doesn't buy happiness," and the poor say, "Oh, only rich people say that, so they can prevent us from becoming rich." But the rich people are not happy. They know it. They say it because it's true. So, yeah. So
I would
that's-
argue the not happy came first, and that's
Yeah.
why they're billionaires. It's that from that place of non-happy that they're striving for more and more and more. So
Yeah, thinking that the money is gonna
It's
make
gonna
them
make them happy.
happy, and then they realize no amount of money is
I don't know
doing
if
the
they've
trick.
realized, because they keep
Well,
trying to make.
I mean, when they say it, they say money doesn't buy you happiness. I don't know if it's the billionaires who say it or just the common person that says it. But yeah,
the
philosopher,
the,
Jedi.
the mild millionaires in the middle have figured it all out.
But we can see it, like when they die alone in their bathtubs, or after taking drugs, like all these celebrities that die alone, like Whitney Houston or Matthew Perry, or they all dead in their bathtub just
Yeah,
taking
I
drugs.
think there's some
but they-
conspiracy stuff there.
That's they're not like billionaires.
But they're
you
multimillionaires. They're
The
very
other thing
rich.
that's super interesting is like they got us
And they have-
talking about the billionaires of the world, Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, whatever. But I don't think they're actually even the wealthiest. I think that the people who are actually in charge, the hidden families, and
You
stuff,
don't hear of them.
We don't. Their names don't get
They
mentioned in
don't.
these conversations.
They're little
So
soldiers.
look at these billionaires are these little distractions for us to be like, oh, look at those they're controlling the world, whatever. It's just like, yeah, good job,
They're
guys.
not
You got us
controlling-
again.
You can tell because Elon Musk died to be with Trump, so he paid like $250 million to his campaign. So they're not as powerful as they think they are. They want to be more powerful by being close to a president. So it's just, I don't know. It's
it's
just
all an
the
illusion.
really, the game is weird, and you're just trying to understand how these people work. And I don't know.
It's all coming clear though.
Well, money is our greatest teacher. One of, but it's definitely a
Relationships.
very
Big teacher. He's a big teacher.
But I mean, oftentimes,
hand in hand.
these subjects, especially in long-term relationships, money becomes
like one of
also
the
an
main-
arena in the
yeah.
relationship. you
Of
know.
course, yeah.
So yeah, no, I do definitely think, but it comes down to it does come down to duality and not feeling oneness, because we feel like we need to divide like resources, and then exactly we don't think we have enough, and everybody wants to hog resources for themselves.
Right,
you
because
know.
we've been, billionaires are also operating under the illusion of lack and limitedness.
Yeah.
And so it's like, they're just the other side of that coin.
That's why they hoard money, because they think if they don't do that, they're gonna lose it all.
Yeah.
So they're really scared of losing what they have, and that's why they try to have more all the time. Like if I stop having more, maybe I will lose everything because I'm gonna have to spend it. So
Exhausting.
exhausting,
Miserable.
yeah.
Misery. That
Like,
does
I don't
not
think
sound
they
fun.
sleep well because they always thinking about the next move or what's gonna
Not
happen
sure
with
about that,
yeah.
but definitely money.
But to your point earlier about, now you're questioning, is this new person in my life my friend because of my money or because they actually like me? Like, can you imagine having to like second guess every friendship? I love you guys because you met me when I had nothing. You know what I mean? Like, it's nice to know, like, if the people who want to hang out with you is because they like you. They're not, there can't be an ulterior motive when you don't have many billions of dollars just sitting around. So it's like that alone would drive me crazy. Having to like, that would be an exhausting thing to constant, because every time there was a problem, it was just like that would come up, like not being able to trust anyone around you, the person you've married, like that.
Or
sounds
you have to
miserable.
be with people who are just as rich as you are, and you don't get to experience people who don't have money, like how they love and how they react and how their experiences from like being poor. And so everything is like the glasses you wear is just like everybody around you is as privileged as me, so you're very cut out of the real world. Like so what kind of experience in this world do you have if everything you experience is just abundance? Well, I don't know, abundance, rich and environments and luxury and being always treated like a king. So what kind of experience is that, you know?
I'm sure it's a pretty full life. You know what I mean? Like someone who's living on the streets of India would look at our lives and be like, look at how privileged they are. Like from their perspective, we're as rich as Elon is to us. You know what I mean? So we figure it out. We don't have to spend time with, sleeping on the streets to recognize like, oh, there's everyone kind of hangs around in their same social and economic, like, because what's interesting is because that from my perspective of consciousness and social economics go hand in hand. So it's like you said, they probably only able to hang out with other billionaires because yeah, exactly, because as soon as you're not hanging out with other billionaires, what are you
what are you going to talk about? Because you're going to be like, oh, I'm going.
You're literally in different, not literally, but like figuratively in different worlds. You're going to hang out with the help, But Tim Dillon, back to Tim, I was watching, he was talking about something. He apparently, he's never been ashamed to talk about, I want to have money.
Oh, he loves the luxury.
I want to have power.
Yeah, he talks about it. Like he loves going to exclusive restaurants. He loves to buy expensive clothes and shades and stuff like that.
And then he started hanging out with people. Like as his career went up, he started having more opportunity to hang out with people who were there. And he said, you know what? It's very boring. It's really boring. It was just like, that makes sense to me. Like when I see these like government events where everyone has to stand and wait and all the pomp service, like I don't want to spend my life going to those events. And like I look at Trump and he's like going to these like 4 or 5 times a week. Can you imagine having like just have to show up at these events and everyone claps and you sit down, you eat probably the similar steak or whatever. Like that to me, like that doesn't look interesting at all.
What kind of an experience is that? Yeah.
But from them, I'm sure they like it. Or, I'm sure that if you're someone who's in that world and you're enjoying it, that's what a thrill. You get to take selfies with the president and, so from their point of view. But yeah, like it's interesting from Tim, who's like, it was something that it sounded like he really wanted, was excited for. And then when he finally got there, he's like, oh yeah, this is not fun.
Yeah. It's like, I had this discussion with my friend here. And she told me like she's losing her friends to politics. Everybody's running for office, and she's like, I cannot spend a day with these people. It's like you go to the parliament and everybody's asking you who you are, so they see if they need to talk to you or not.
Your worth.
How toxic is that?
These little like weasels, they come and they're like, what do you do here? and when you say like who you are and your title, they're like,
don't
it's
have
not
time,
worth
yeah.
my time. Like I'm not gonna go up the ladder if I talk to you.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
she-
everything's transactional.
So she's like, it's like when you enter politics, it's not a good.
and I think it's true in
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Yeah,
It's true in
exactly.
banking
Yeah.
and finance. Like it's who you know, and yeah, it sounds miserable. It really does, and I think a lot of people are realizing that now.
So can we agree then that the problem is not money, it's power?
It's well both.
Well, no, because you can have money not for power.
Oh, you mean like you can have money just because you want money?
You could be abundant. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with being
Yeah, I don't think
No, I'm
pushing
not
away money.
abundant
No, I'm not
or,
talking
or
about
rich
like a-
or whatever.
No.
When there's billions, I mean, it's true that we don't hear about billionaires that really are like
Quiet,
like
the
super
quiet
clean.
Well, the guy who
well, the quiet ones.
the
Ryan
Twitter
Adams,
guy,
Ryan
he sold it
Johnson.
and he disappeared.
Oh, Jack.
Jack, I don't know what's
I
happening.
tweeted recently, and people
Really?
just something about IP law and how we need to get rid of it, like
I don't follow him,
intellectual
so I don't
property.
know. Okay.
No, there's the Bronner. There was a billionaire who did a TED talk about how we need to bring like more equity into the world or whatever, like in the financial system. Super interesting thing. I mean, years ago I saw it. I don't know if I looked, but I mean, they're out there some. But ultimately, like to get to be a billionaire means there's some sort of exploitation needed to happen.
Of course, yeah.
So I feel like you got to come to terms with that, and that would have to mean letting go of some of that and be like, I don't want to live off the wealth that came from a place. You know what I mean? Like there has to be some sort of I don't want to say reckoning, but like karmically, like if wealth was gained through exploitation, in order to kind of undo that karma means having to bring it back. I can't remember that guy's name. Bronner. Anyway. Sorry, you were going somewhere.
No, yeah, that's perfect. Meaning that yes, there is a certain cap where it cannot be but about power. Like you don't get there in the billions if you haven't used power to get money.
Yeah, leveraged exploitation.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But then we you know that you can amass a fair amount of money and what can be considered for most people on earth as wealth. And if it's not associated with the intention of power, that's how we can grow actually and use the resources to expand collectively. So basically my point being that it's power, the root of how they say the root of the evil is the root of money, or
Money is the root of all
or
evil.
money. Yes. Well, maybe we can swap that. And that would alleviate a lot of programming about money and abundance and swap it with power.
Right, that whole money is the root of all evil comes
Yes.
from, that's a very like
Well, you want to control people. You don't want to. It's like, who are you with that money? That's what matters.
Exactly.
Like when you have that amount of money, and you are not doing anything good with that money, that's when the problem starts.
money
you
itself
know.
is neutral.
Yeah.
Which would be
The-
about
yeah.
power. Yeah, that's what I mean. And then it would be power is the root of all evil. And then as humans, we set up a system where we need money to have power. Like if you have a lot of money, you have a lot of power.
Right, in the system we
yeah.
have, it's been set up so that the more money you have, the more power you have, and then the more power you have, the more money you get, and that's we're seeing.
Yeah, you stop paying for anything.
Well, no, and
Like,
then you
it's
just
just-
see that self-perpetuate, and so
it's funny how the more money you have, the more free stuff you get.
yeah,
Yeah,
because you can pass
you
laws.
you go
that-
everywhere. You don't pay for anything. People want you there. They pay you to get there. Like so, it's just.
they send you clothes to
Yeah,
wear and
yeah.
jewelry.
It's really,
so
really it's
true,
ironic,
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Hmm.
But we're the most abundant because we have each
Yeah,
other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
we
worth
don't
all the
worry about
in the
money.
world.
When you stop worrying about
Yeah.
money, that's when
Yeah.
you're rich. Seriously, I feel
That's,
like
that is wealth
yeah.
itself. True.
yeah.
True that. Yeah.
No, I really believe we're sons of God.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, all the supreme consciousness that is able to, from energy, create something that to us appears solid. So from there, literally anything can be created. So as we get tapped more and more into that, this idea of like having like money is literally not real. Like,
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, in my culture, we have a saying. Like people say, when a baby is born,
He brings
it's
his
born with its own wealth.
Yeah, we have that
And
too.
people keep criticizing poor people for having a lot of babies. And every person who has a baby, she says that. And people like, you're insane. You're poor and you're bringing 4 or 5 kids. You need to stop. And every single woman says, my baby is born with its own wealth. And the baby survives and they're grown up and nothing happens to them. They have food. It's not, they live in a small house. It's a family that lives in a 2-bedroom house. They're 7, but they are living. They're not.
they're making it
It's
work.
like they're making it work. So who are you to judge that these people should stop having babies because you think that the amount of money they need is this much, and let them figure their thing out. This woman wants these babies, so yeah.
Yeah, who am I to tell anyone
Yeah.
else how to live their life? That's been a big lesson the last
But
couple
I
of
was
years.
like that. I was like, oh my god, these people are insane. Like you have nothing and you have 6 kids, and these people are gonna struggle. But no, they are there, and even
And
if
there
they
might be a
struggle,
struggle.
maybe there is a struggle. Maybe they don't. You can't afford their. But that's
But the kids are alive and
the kids are alive, and
they love
we have
each
public
other as
schools. They
siblings.
go to public schools. We have food kitchens. We have people. We have a lot of rich people who help them. Like people believe in Islam, they need to help the poor. So there are a lot of rich people who do that.
Contribute to-
Yeah, they contribute to making other people's lives better. So
Yeah, we've that fear of that whole lack mentality or scarcity mentality has been such a great way of controlling us and keeping us small and keeping us fighting one another. And so the sooner that as more of us break out of that, it's only gonna make more beauty and more abundance, and it's gonna really unlock all of that from my perspective.
yeah, I agree.
Alrighty then. I love you, ladies.
I love you so much, baby. Mwah. Mwah. Mwah.
Alrighty.